My name is Rashawn Bass, and this is my video narrative research that I've conducted for the chosen transcript, Interrogate the Truth. So let's get started. First, I'm going to talk about visual personality and the sort of styles, both visual and motion related, the ways I want to have my motion design look. So, inspiration, essentially, for what I would like to replicate inside my motion design. So, let's go. Here, visually, we have some flat 2D vector graphics with subtle shading. I think it's something that can be impactful, especially in the ways you use it and utilize, the different shading techniques. I want to keep my graphics simple because I think that the message being conveyed is more important than what I can bring to it visually. So I think I want the message to stand out on its own, and I want my visuals to be an enhancement to it and not take away from what Jeffrey's talking about in his transcript. Next, I have some motion. Very simple, subtle sort of motion. I know I did that in my last project. However, I think I can utilize it here in more advanced ways than I did previously. So some inspiration here. Crash Course. I used to watch it all the time in high school. It just has these very clean, minimalistic sort of styles. You can see here like this person falling. Although it's not much, you can see what's happening, what's being conveyed. It loops, so it's just very fluid in that manner. Down here, you can see the way all these little motions from the things moving on the conveyor to the boxes going into the truck leaving to this little thing here. All these just little elements all come together to create this one piece, and that's something I definitely want to emphasize within my motion design project. So next, I'm going to go on to the visual message. This was taken right from the brief. I think it explains it perfectly and provides a great message behind the narrator and his motives to what he's talking about in the transcript. He has experience as a Black teacher and a student seeing and experiencing these social injustices that he's so adamant about. And through my motion design, I want to convey his message of having the knowledge to fix social inequalities be readily available through school and other academic resources that aren't necessarily available sometimes for students, especially those of color. So I think there's a strong message here that's definitely ready to be conveyed through motion design. So my visual goals, sorry, I just talk too much and I don't breathe. So basically I just go through the transcript line by line, showing the ways I want to have the transcript be visualized. So to start off, this is Jeffrey. I want to create a narrator puppet version of him to include within my motion design. Something simple, like these faceless vector figures down here. I want to emphasize, like his hair and his glasses, the beard, but not necessarily have those facial features like the eyes and the nose and, all those detailed elements. So I just want to keep it very basic, but also engaging for the viewer. So to start off, he talks about social justice. So I want to have some animated typography to introduce this, and which leads into a graphic, which will transition into the next part. To start off, talks about industrialization in the West. So I want to have like a factory sort of setting, maybe the smoke moving, the buildings rising, like we've seen previously. And then it also talks about empires forming and imperialism. So England at the time was very well known for being imperialistic and gathering all these different nations. So visualizing that in some ways definitely vital. So next it talks about social inequality. Visualizing this here, you have some examples. I need to, and I want to think of an original idea of how I can show this and also incorporate motion in it. So those are some ideas I'm going to have to research into more, but I have the inspiration at least here. Next, I have a strong idea for what I want to do here. Kind of have 3 simple scenes that, quickly flash between each other. Starting off with the exploitation of people, I wanted to visualize slavery in America. For the taking from places, I was going to visualize like Viking raids in Christian monasteries in England. And then also colonizing, I wanted to do the Pilgrims and the Native Americans and visualize those in the motion and the stylization that I previously mentioned in the visual section. Next, we have workers at different levels. So visualizing blue collar and white collar workers, having them split on the screen to have this split here open up and then reveal like a gavel to that leads into the next part of the transcript for needing justice and things like that. So for this next part is where I would have the narrator come back out and sort of talk to the viewer directly. This is the only other spot I plan to have it other than the intro, so I don't want it to take from the actual motion within my project, but also, just to help enhance it. So I'll have him speaking on the side, the vector, a little puppet, and then something pops up to, indicate the social injustice and how it's built into society. Individual people shaping their own ideas, having the two lines, I thought of like two roads diverge in the yellow woods, the path less taken sort of thing. So some kind of way of illustrating that, and then as well as believing true about social justice, having kind of like a lie detector test and the line moving. I think this could be motion, like animated very well if I use it. And maybe have this line here, something like this lead into here, So a very smooth transition. I wasn't too sure about this part, but like invitation, having maybe a letter open up, the invitation here, maybe it scrolls up and then the next part leads into it. Actually, that's a good idea. I just thought of that. So yeah, invitation, letter sort of thing, because people haven't been invited. Maybe it says, oh, you're not invited, and then have interrogated on it. And then next, I have a school to represent curriculum. This is like almost very literal here. It's going to have like a school with maybe like some arms and legs watering this tombstone. And then a ghost popping out to quite literally visualize curriculum fostering a place for a spirit, like a ghost. So next I have interrogating accepted truths and norms and the status quo. So I was kind of going to have an hourglass pan over, either a book or like a series of words and have it zoom in on accepted truths, norms, and the status quo, just to emphasize those words when they're being spoken inside the audio. And then we have a view, putting your best foot forward. So, maybe from that last part, just having some footprints and just transitionally leading into a new scene. Probably having them animate one at a time, so like back and forth, but not too slow. A deliberate and benevolent direction of, can we make things better and fair? Oh yeah, this visual here, just like at the end, it's equal, both sides are happy, they get the same amount. I want to visualize that, and I want that to be like the last thing you see in my motion design projects. I think it has, as a final message in a final image, it's impactful, I think, for equality, social equality at that, and justice. So definitely a lot of like abstract, sometimes literal interpretations of the transcript. In terms of my actual project, honestly, I don't even know what I'm waffling about at this point. Thank you for listening. I'm excited for this project. I think it'll be cool, and I can't wait. Thank you for listening.